My name is Kenneth Bryan. I'm the Minister for Tourism and Ports in the Cayman Islands, and I'm also the Chairman for the Caribbean Tourism Organization.
Minister, Chairman, you've just come off a panel. Here we are at SOTIC, Turks and Caicos. Give us an update.
I've had the pleasure of being able to speak to a wide audience here in the Turks and Caicos Islands with many of the stakeholders, talking about the investments and how do you balance the sustainability of the future of this very important industry. Talking about how do governments incentivize investment but still maintain the protection of our most invaluable asset, which is the people, the quality of life, and the environment. So talking about the social impacts, the economical impacts, and the environmental impacts, and recognizing that there is a balance that needs to be struck as we look at the world as a very small place today, and the effects of global warming, sea level rise. We have to factor in all of those factors and make sure that we're all members of the Caribbean Tourism Organization and of the world are playing our parts to make sure that we are doing this in a sustainable way. And sustainability doesn't mean stopping growth. It doesn't mean stopping development. It's doing development in a strategic, smart, and sensible way so that we all can benefit from it. So a very productive conversation, good dialogue, questions from stakeholders, from government members as we learn from each other what each other's best practices are as we try to change the model of the incentives for investors to invest in our very beautiful natural environment here in the Caribbean region.
And let's just unpack that a little bit. So give me some examples of what you're seeing as best practice in the region. Tell me a little bit about sort of how the region is effectively leading the way, I suppose, in that sense, in terms of being a sort of a new kind of bar and benchmark for the world.
Well, to be honest, in the past, we've never really considered all factors when we're doing development. How does it affect the neighboring communities? Where is the benefit for them directly? How do we make sure that the profits are shared reasonably across the industry and amongst the people upon which the investment and the country is made? So making sure that all the money isn't in one pot, because when not everybody's winning, that you create an unsettling environment which is not conducive for the environment that you want for our guests and our visitors. Also infusing any kind of development within the natural environment that is there. Talking about setbacks, understanding global warming, sea level rising, understanding what is our development plans for each country. How much development do you want? How does that development affect your society and quality of life? We talked about infrastructure upgrades or implementation, whether it be our road infrastructure, our transportation systems, our airports, our ports, or even our technology necessities like fiber optics. AI is continuously being a thing of the future, and you want to make sure you have enough connectivity to be able to take the benefits of what AI has to offer. So these types of things are discussions that we have on a continuous basis to monitor the trends so we can be ahead of the game and not left behind as a region.
And just putting on your ministerial hat for a second, I guess, from a chair of kind of the organization's perspective, how is Cayman kind of approaching and delivering this?
Well, I mean, the good news is that the Cayman Islands have always been a sustainable minded country. And the reason for that is because we're so small. We always have recognized that we have a small landmass and that it's not infinite. Other countries have larger land masses, and it's not at the forefront of their mind to say, can we run out of our resources? So we have always taken that position, and it is an example of that is our decision not to build a pier, because we want to protect the reefs, because diving has been a significant part of our tourism development. And also we recognize that the future guests and visitors, the trends in the attitude of the new guest is one of, they want to see countries, they want to see properties and stakeholders who take investment seriously from a sustainable perspective. They want to know that you're doing your moral obligation to the protection of the globe, of the world, not only just your island, because we all contribute to the emissions that we produce together. We can no longer say, oh, what I'm doing is not affecting anybody. So with that in mind, we're changing our approaches in respect to how we do business. And business can be anything, whether it's local shops or hotel development, transportation, whether it's electric or fuel, all of these factors. So it's about that balancing approach to making sure that you're cognizant at all times in all decisions, all regulation, all legislation, that we are minded of the social impacts, the economic impacts, and more importantly, the environmental impacts, because that is the natural asset that is the most important part to our tourism product, and we have to ensure that it lasts a very long time. So that's the premise of sustainability, allowing it to last for generations to come.
And how is that message going down with your tourists of today, but also your tourists of tomorrow?
I think it's almost obligatory. If you are not taking this step, the new visitor, the new guest, are not going to spend with your properties. They're not going to spend with your attractions, because they want to feel that they are enjoying something, but at the same time not hurting the earth. So the new guests are more conscious about where they spend their money. And so not only is it the right thing to do, but it's also a new marketing strategy to your guests to say, we are conscious, and when you spend money with us, you can feel good about doing so, because we are doing our part to save this planet.
Minister Bryan, Chairman, thank you very much for your time today.